Good evening. I'm Juan Zabala, Vice President for University Advancement at Lamar University, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our digital alumni gathering and to thank you for taking time out of your busy Tuesday night to join us this evening. Our digital alumni gathering gives us an opportunity to talk to distinguished graduates of Lamar University and to get a better sense of the way that Lamar has impacted their lives and how they then have impacted their communities. You picked the perfect night to tune in. We have two distinguished alumni that are joining us this evening, two of the most accomplished and remarkable women you're ever going to meet. So I'm going to go through the introduction first, and then we'll bring them onto the screen. Paula O'Neill is our alumna who holds 2 degrees from Lamar. She's got a bachelor's degree in government and a master's in education degree in counseling and development. Paula is the consummate Cardinal fan. She has remained active with Lamar University throughout her life. She is a past president of the Alumni Advisory Board. She's on the Cardinal Club Board. She mentors students. She was a member of her class and of the Greek Reunion steering committees. She's a season ticket holder on maybe every Cardinal sport, and she was named Distinguished Alumna in 2005. Professionally, Paula has served 37 years as executive director of Beaumont Some Other Place. If you don't know about Some Other Place, it's an ecumenical mission founded in 1968 to meet the unfulfilled emergency needs of the poor and hurting residents of the Beaumont community. Paula also volunteers extensively in her community. She's a member of the Junior Forum, of Delta Kappa Gamma, of Project Care, of I Have a Great Dream, The Gift of Life, Triangle Aids Network, and the Rotary Club of Beaumont, just to name a very few. She's been recognized throughout our community for her involvement. She's a recipient of the Jefferson Award. She was named Humanitarian of the Year by Catholic Charities, Citizen of the Year by Nature's River Festival, Dream Maker of the Year by I Have a Dream, Newsmaker of the Year, by the Press Club of Southeast Texas, among many other awards. Joining her this evening is her colleague, Elaine Shellenberger. Elaine earned a BBA degree from Lamar University, and that began an extraordinary tradition. Her husband, her 2 children, their spouses, and just a boatload of family members have gone on to earn degrees from Lamar University. In 1984, Elaine joined Nutrition and Services for Seniors. And for the next 35 years, she served in a variety of roles, eventually becoming the president and CEO of Nutrition and Services for Seniors. She retired from that role last year in October of 2018. When she started at Nutrition and Services for Seniors, the primary focus of that organization was to provide homebound meals for the elderly. And during her first year there, they provided 80,000 home-delivered and congregate meals to Jefferson County seniors. Elaine went about the process of implementing programs that focus on the whole life enhancement of the senior community. This helps seniors live independently in their homes. And by 2018, the year before she retired, the meal count had increased to more than 450,000 home-delivered and congregate meals in both Jefferson and Hardin counties. Like her friend Paula, Elaine has been honored by numerous organizations in our community. To name just a few, she was named member of Women Who Mean Business in Southeast Texas. The Southeast Texas Nonprofit Development Center named her a Distinguished Award winner. She was recognized by the First Lady of Texas, Cecilia Abbott, and she and her organization, the Nutrition and Services for Senior, were named the Nonprofit Charity of the Year at the annual Better Business Bureau Torch Awards. Like her colleagues, she's also a member of the Rotary Club of Beaumont. She's a member of Junior Forum. She's a member of Leadership Beaumont. Among these 2 ladies, they are members of maybe every organization in this town. At Lamar, we're also fortunate to have Elaine very involved. She's a past member of the Lamar University Cardinal Club. She's a member of the Lamar University Maribel Society. She helps to organize community service projects for our Lamar University Office of Alumni Affairs, and she mentors Lamar University students. And like her colleague, she was named a Distinguished Alumna of Lamar University. So Paula and Elaine, oh my gosh, thank you both for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having us.
And Paula, we'll start with you real quickly. Welcome. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. You're awfully involved with Lamar University. Why is that? Why have you remained so involved with Lamar for a good number of years?
Well, I'm in Lamar is making what I am, and had it not been for Lamar University, I would have never had a college degree, and education would have never been an open door for me. I'm a
just
South
one
Park
second,
native.
Paula.
Yeah.
Are we good? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. My sound was off.
Okay.
Please keep going. I apologize.
You're okay. I'm a South Park girl. Grew up in South Park and graduated from South Park High School. Lamar was just 8 blocks away, and it just helped to make me who I am. And I will forever be indebted and more than happy to contribute how I can.
And Elaine, the same way, you have a huge family connection to Lamar University. So what does it mean to you to have a university like Lamar in a community where you are so involved?
Oh, I think it's great, and I not only, I'm proud that my family has attended, but also I'm proud that that through nutrition and services we've been able to mentor many of the students who are going on to get their dietitian degree. So I think Lamar is just a valuable asset to our community, and I hope everybody can see that.
And to go along that theme, and we'll go back to you, Elaine, if you don't mind, but a lot of our audience for these programs are students who want to see your success, and they sort of want to understand how they can replicate that. You worked for a living in a community service organization, and yet you volunteered like crazy across our community. Why would a person like you, why would anybody want to be a volunteer in community service?
Well, I think that it sort of rounds you out and helps you learn more about the community, and it helps you network with our community. And I think it just feels good to give back. And I think that's how you grow, is by giving back and being around those that are also serving too.
And Paula, the same question to you. You and I have a different relationship. We actually go to the same church. And I have seen you and your kids, your daughter and your grandchildren all involved in community service there and across the community. So what do you think that brings to the life of a young person to do volunteer work?
Well, I've always said, Juan, that those of us that volunteer are more blessed than we're allowed to bless. I tell volunteers all the time, especially young people, when they come, well, I had fun doing this. I enjoyed this. Well, it should feel good to volunteer. And I do think that the majority of people that do volunteer throughout our community do get a good feeling from it. And it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. And I think they have that experience when they get involved with organizations like Elaine's or like some other place.
Excellent. Let's go on that just a little bit, if you don't mind, Paula. Would you talk a little bit about what you've been at some of the place for a good number of years now, and a lot has happened there. What are there some of your professional accomplishments that you're the most proud of?
Well, yeah, that's really difficult to say because I get to take the credit and the blame. And so, it's really hard for me to say what my accomplishments have been. The accomplishments of our donors and our volunteers have made some other place grow. I tell people all the time, when I have good business, that's not a good sign, because it's because we have people living in our community that are in need and have no other place to turn. I guess maybe the thing that has meant the most to me happened many, many years ago. I was in our nutrition center, which is a soup kitchen, and somebody came and said, Paula, there's somebody out there wanting your autograph. Anyway, well, I spiffied up and got all, cleaned up, took the hairnet off and the apron off and went out. And it was one of our clients who had found a newspaper, obviously in the dumpster from the way it appeared. And he wanted my autograph. And I said, well, Sam, why do you want my autograph? And his response was, because you're the only one who cared. And that's not the case. Elaine can attest to that. There are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people in this local community that care and give of their time, their treasures, and their talents to help others. And they feel good doing it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And so, Elaine, we'll go to you. With the case with both of you, but I have heard you introduced many times in my career. And there's so many things that you accomplished in your time at Nutrition and Services for Seniors. There are certain accomplishments that just stand out in your mind. It's something that you were just thrilled to have gotten done.
Well, have to really think about that. But just like Paula, nothing that I did was done by just me. It was done by a team of people working together. So, I think the thing that sticks out in my mind is how our program has grown in serving the community and serving our elderly. With the meals that you mentioned as you read the bio about me. But also we added other programs. Our transportation increased greatly, and transportation is such a need for the elderly community. And so I'm very proud that we were able to increase that. We were doing about 20 rides a day, and now we're doing over 300 rides a day. And still that doesn't meet the needs. So not only that, we added a program to provide pet food for the animals of our homebound seniors. We created a organic garden that I am just so proud of, and taking fresh vegetables out to our seniors, fresh fruits and vegetables out to our seniors. Just is such a thrill to them, and for them to get a fresh tomato. I mean, I would love to get a fresh tomato, but it just makes the fact that they're at home alone be less burdensome for them. There's somebody coming to that door every day, and just a little treat of fresh fruits and vegetables brings a lot of joy to them. So there are programs that we added to help enhance the senior's life. And I think that's really what I'm proud of. We even added a home repair program to help our seniors recover from Harvey. And we were absolutely amazed at the damage that was done and that they were living in and not getting the help that they needed to get that repaired. So all of those services together just help enhance the life of our seniors.
Beautiful. And Paula, we'll go back to you on this. We hear about people who want to do community service and don't know where to start. So you're talking to a group of young people out there who are watching this program who understand that they want to do something for their community. What advice would you give them to start looking at ways to participate in our community?
Well, the first thing I would say is they need to decide what is their passion. What is it that their cause? What is it? Whether it's seniors, whether it's homeless, whether it's the hungry, what touches their heart, and what is it that they really want to accomplish? And then there are ample opportunities in our community for young people to get involved in, for older people to get involved in. And all of the organizations and agencies that I work with and that Elaine works with are always needing people, to help to accomplish the work. The more people we have, the more we can do. And so I would say, first of all, find your passion. And the second thing is call any organization. I have people calling all the time wanting to volunteer. And after we visit, it's not a place, some other place is not what they're really wanting to do. And we're more than happy to refer them to other agencies and organizations that might better meet their needs. But the main thing is, and I try to tell me what it is you want to do. Because if you are doing what you truly want to do and enjoying what you do, you're going to stay with it a lot longer than if you come to me and I say, this is what I want you to do. And if they're not doing, I had a lady one time that was a retired executive secretary, and I said, great, you can type letters for me. That would be such a, she sat at the computer and typed for several weeks. And finally she came and she said, Paula, I did this all my life. I really would like to do something different. Anyway, and so the main thing is to decide what your passion is anyway, and then contact any of the organizations here locally, and we'll certainly either put you to work or find a place where you will be happy and feel fulfilled.
So Elaine, let's expand on that just a little bit. Somebody who wants to volunteer, sometimes there's some trepidation of, can I be helpful? Do I bring anything to this? So what would you say to somebody who wants to volunteer, say for nutrition and services for seniors, but they're not sure how much value they could add to an organization?
Well, I'd also like to add to what Paula said. I think a good place to start would be the United Way. If you're interested in volunteering, they can give you a whole array organizations that need volunteers. But, I think that again, I think she said that, you have to feel passionate about what you're doing. And I think that young people are really valuable to an organization. Not that older people aren't, but there's some energy that they bring with it. And I think it's a good example set for other people when young people give. And for us, for nutrition and services, to have someone young deliver a meal to a senior, it just brightens their day up. Not that they don't love all of our other volunteers that deliver, but, as I said, young people give some energy that just is, I think, just invaluable.
Excellent. Well, so it just wasn't a softball, but you brought up United Way, and the executive director of United Way, another alumna of Lamar University here in our area. So let's talk a little bit about Lamar. Both of y'all are sort of dramatically involved with Lamar. Every time you're here, you're doing more and more stuff for Lamar. Every time we make a call, the answer is always yes. So let's start with you, Paula. Why are you so involved with your alma mater?
Well, maybe it makes me feel young again. Like I said earlier, what is given to me needs to be paid forward or paid backward, I guess you could say, with Lamar for me, because I'm going back. Lamar was a very important part of my life. I was fortunate enough, even though I lived in Beaumont, to live on campus, and was very involved in activities there. And I just think that because I'm the type of person that likes to be involved, it to me is a passion, and it is I'm like Elaine. It just really disturbs me sometimes when I think that there are so many people in our community that do not realize the value of Lamar being in our community and what it contributes in so many ways. And I mean, in talking about the young people, we are thrilled with the Lamar students that come out and help us. But I guess I'm going to have to go back to the fact that it does keep me feeling young and involved. And I love being around the young people. You do derive energy from them. You can tell by looking at me. I won't speak for Elaine, although I know we're pretty close in age. But as we get older, it is very rewarding and very meaningful to be involved with young people. And I can't really put it into words, but I truly love being involved in helping in any way I can to boost Lamar and all that it means, not only to me, but so many of us who graduated from here.
Well, and Elaine, let's follow up on Paula's statement about how we all want, I think of myself as so much younger than I am, but age got us to thinking, and one of our viewers, Karen, asks, is there an age where it would be sort of, what is the appropriate age for somebody to begin volunteering? And I guess maybe the question is more about, is there a time at which maybe people are too young to be volunteering with a social service organization?
Well, we've had young, very young people, 5 and up, come and volunteer, but they've been with their parents. And there's always something that those little hands can do, and they're just a joy to be around. But we do shelf-stable meals, and it's like an assembly line, putting all the items together in the box. And the young people have come and been able to maybe break down boxes and carry out garbage and put things in the boxes in addition to that. And I just think I have to applaud the parents who take their children to these organizations and show them about giving back. And so we have children come, and I think that's great. And I would encourage parents to continue doing that.
So Paula, we have another question from one of our listeners, and so I'm going to direct this question to you. But Jeff wants to know, how can we encourage our friends and neighbors to be in service to others and help inspire them to care about the community in which we and they live?
Wow. Thank you for giving me that one, Juan. Well, here again, I must say that for us at Some Other Place is a faith-based mission. We are sponsored primarily, by local congregations representing all different faiths. And I personally think if you have a strong faith and a strong religious background, no matter what your faith of choice is, that it's instilled in me that this is something that I'm supposed to do, that I am supposed to be my brother's keeper, and I'm supposed to look out. And I would just encourage people. I used to say this a long time ago, and I hope that it's okay to say it. Ben Rogers, who was a wonderful, wonderful man in this community, I used to say, what's good for Mr. Rogers is good for the man who sleeps on the park bench in front of the Julie Rogers Theater. And what's good for the man who sleeps on the bench in front of the Julie Rogers Theater is good for Mr. Rogers. It's a two-way street. We've got to understand and instill in others that we've got to think outside the box. We've got to care about people, no matter who they are, because in the long run, what's good for our neighbor is good for us as well. Sounds maybe a little bit corny, but I really think that that's what I try to instill in the people who come to volunteer with us, that we are there to do what we can to try to improve and enhance the life of people that haven't been quite as blessed as we have been.
That's perfect. Thank you, Paula. And so, Elaine, I'm going to direct the next question to you. And this is something that Gloria has posted. She's watching. Gloria goes to school full time, and she's a full-time mother. And so she's got some limited time on her hands. And she wants to know, what volunteer opportunities would you suggest for somebody who doesn't have a lot of time? What kind of things might they be able to do remotely or from home or at a distance?
Well, one of the things that we like to do is send out birthday cards for our homebound clients. And so someone that is not able to come into our office can take those cards and address them and get them ready to go out. So that would be something that would be very easy for somebody to do. I think there's always something that we can come up with that people can do things in their homes. But what a rewarding thing to do, to know that you're making a difference, because sometimes our homebound clients don't get anyone to wish them a happy birthday. So getting a card from us is a really big deal. And so that's just one of the things, but there are many other things that they can do. And I think any agency, our agency, would be happy to work with a volunteer that can do things at home and support their mission and taking care of that.
Excellent. Well, thank you. So let's go back to a little bit about what I do, right? Working with students at Lamar University, and what you clearly have a passion for is the students at Lamar. And let's go back to Elaine. If you experienced the career that you had. If you were looking at things that you wished you had learned in college instead of learning on the job, what kind of courses would you suggest to somebody who wants to work in a community service organization?
Well, I think I would like to have a course on dealing with personnel. I think anytime you run an organization, that can be a big thing that you're dealing with, the people that work there. So I think something like that would help. Of course, I think accounting and budgeting, I think all of those are very important because that's what you run your operation on. But in interpersonal skills, how to deal with people, how to do speeches and go out in groups and talk and be convincing. Of course, when you're working in a nonprofit, you're usually talking from your heart, and so I think those are some of the things that I would like to see, and I would have liked to have had when I went to school.
Right, and Paula, it's sort of to you, but in a little bit of different twist. As a student at Lamar, one of the things that you and Elaine do so well is you build interpersonal relationships that are really genuine and deep. So what would you advise a student who is at Lamar in college thinking about trying to build relationships with other people? What do you think, what are some of the things that you did at Lamar that got you involved with your fellow students?
Let me see if I can remember back that far. That's been a few years ago. Well, I was very involved. Back when I was at Lamar, they had an organization called the Texans, TECHSANS. Anyway, we wore these little red skirts and red bandanas. But I was also in a sorority, and it was a requirement really of the social sororities back then to be involved on campus. Anyway, and I would, we were required to spend so many hours in the Student Union building, which is now the Setzer Center, which, by the way, is absolutely beautiful. But get involved. Don't just go to class and go home. You've got to get involved. And I know that the students look a little bit different from when I was in school. We didn't have to work as much as many of the students have to have jobs right now. And so living on campus, becoming involved in organizations, getting a job on campus. I don't know if that's really that important, but what was wonderful was working on campus and getting to know your professors, and especially if you could get a job in your field. That was always neat because it always seemed to help whenever tests rolled around. But I would say just get involved and just don't be a hermit or sit in isolation. Take some time to get out and visit with people and to get involved in organizations that are available to them.
Thank you. And so, Elaine, I want to take this just a sort of a step further from that. But the reality is the kind of work that you and Paula do, you speak from the heart, it comes from your heart. It probably takes a lot out of you. So how does a person in your type of profession, how do you balance your work life and your private life? What do you do to bring balance to your life?
Well, I can say maybe I didn't do real well at that, but because when you work for a nonprofit, you have a small staff, and you take on a lot more responsibility, and you have lots of different hats that you wear. But I
Sorry for the technical issues, everyone. It looks as though we lost internet at our facility and we are no longer able to do this broadcast, but we do want to thank Elaine and Paula for joining us today. It was a great broadcast. We had a lot of great information. Please continue to ask your questions in the comments. We'll definitely do our best to get those to the ladies and have them answer them for you. Again, we want to thank Paula and Elaine for their input and for being great alumni for the university as well. We will end with a commercial for the university, and thank you guys for joining us.
Trying times, I'm here for my community.
I will reach my students over any distance.
I'm committed to delivering truth.
Keeping families fed is my purpose.
Taking care of people is my passion.
At Lamar University, I was given the skills I need to provide essential services.
No matter where I am.
I'm still here, helping those in need.
And even though we can't always be face-to-face,
It's because of what I learned at Lamar University that I can be here for you.
Our moment is here.
Our moment is now.
Make the most of it at Lamar University.